Hey YouTube, my name is Cassidy and this is my N70 Hilux. The reason I'm making this YouTube channel is to hopefully help some of you guys and take you guys with me on the journey on doing some mods on this car. Currently it has a ARB bull bar, worn winch, 3-inch lift, GVM upgrades, some airbags in the back. It's fully sound deadened and has some custom interior, as well as a 3-inch side dump exhaust. The future plans for this car is to put a 2-inch body lift in, some 33s, some new rims, intercooler, airbox, and maybe a tune. But for today's video, we're just going to be focusing on a Swaybar relocation kit and Swaybar semi-disconnect pins. Now, if you guys like this video, let me know. If you guys have any feedback, let me know, because if all goes well, I'll make some more. So I just received the package from PPD. This has the body lift, everything involved, and the welding inserts for the body mount, but that's for another video. Today's video we're going to be focusing on the Swaybar semi-disconnects and the Swaybar relocation kit. This is everything it comes with. Comes with all your mounting gear, your brackets, obviously the semi-disconnect pins, and it comes with the brackets as well, and all the mounting gear, as well as instructions, which is good. Got the car up on the hoist now. I'm going to take the wheels off, give me a bit more access to do what I need to do. I'll take it up all the way, give you a look, show you what needs to happen. I'm going to do a brief rundown of what's going to be happening. So these are the parts here. Once again, these are the offset brackets for the Swaybar mounts, and these are the Swaybar semi-disconnect links. This is the original mount, factory mount, and the new plate will offset it forwards, exactly like that. There was talk about the Swaybar hitting the radiator support here. Some people have to notch it out. We'll see how we go. The reason I'm offsetting it is because the link hits the knuckle over here. And this link here is going to be replaced with the semi-disconnect link. But yeah. Now I've given you a quick rundown of all the parts. So we're going to start by taking the mounts or clamps for the Swaybar off, then we're going to move to the links. The clamps or mounts, whatever you call it, you're going to need a 14mm socket. I do not have an impact socket, so I'm going to do with what I got. I'm going to take the upper joint off the link now. It's not tapered, it's a straight shaft. So I'm going to loosen it with the impact and then take the rest off with the Allen key and spanner. Like that. Now we're going to take off the lower joint. Once again, it is a 6mm Allen key, but it's filled with a fair bit of sediment and whatnot from years of neglect and not being cleaned. And that is the link out. So this is the old one, this is the new one. It's going to sit exactly like that. Now we're going to be replacing the ABS line bracket with a P-clamp. Notice the tension on the line. The reason for offsetting it is to keep it away from the link. Be careful with your ABS line. It's easy to cut through or break. Now keep the old bolt because that's what you're going to use to hold the new P-clamp on. Now we're going to be fixing the ABS line down with the new P-clamp. Notice the way that it's going to be facing. Using the old bolt with some Never-Sees. Now once again you want to replicate the tension line. So this is what the line looks like now after the P-clamp is installed. These are the brackets that are needed for a Prado. Obviously this is a Hilux, so we won't be using them. And yeah, so these are the links. This is a end stop to stop this lower joint sliding off. It comes with the option to have a pin with the R-clip, or if you want to permanently, or well, more permanently hold it together, comes with a bolt and a nylock nut. So these are the two brackets that hold your brake line and ABS sensor cable. The brake line doesn't get relocated, but it does have to be removed and put back on. The only thing that changes is that the ABS line sits a bit closer. The left bracket has an L on it and the right bracket is empty, so it makes it pretty easy to differentiate which one goes on which side. The flexible brake line will need to be clamped down to stop the fluid draining out while you're taking it off. This bracket here will be removed and replaced with the new one. So firstly, the retaining clip for the ABS sensor needs to be taken off. Just use a screwdriver. Be careful not to damage a line in any way. These two can be kept on because this bracket's going to be used on the new one. And next, take this bracket off while the other bracket's still on there. Makes it a bit easier. So now that this bracket's apart, we need to break this connection here between this hard brake line and flexible brake line. I recommend cutting off the line by using a line clamp. And yeah, so I would recommend using a proper pipe spanner rather than a normal spanner because the car's got a bit of age to it, may round it off. Yeah. So now we need to take off the C bracket here so we can disconnect the lines from the bracket. I don't know if there's a proper tool for this job, but this is what I'm using and it doesn't seem to affect the bracket. just fitted the new bracket, and I've passed through the flexible brake line and connected up the steel brake line that's on the caliper. Now we just need to connect the other bracket to the new bracket that holds the ABS line together. For that, we're going to be using 2 washers, a nut and a bolt, nylock nut, that were supplied with the kit. The new bracket's all installed. The brake line's attached together again. Now to just take the line clamp off. I really do recommend using a proper line clamp. I like the metal ones better than the plastic ones. Do not use vice grips. It has a chance of damaging the cable. Now after this, we will need to bleed the brakes to get all air out of the system. And now to just do everything again on the left hand side. Exactly like that. Safety first. Steel caps on. Now we're going to take off the other side, exactly how we did the right side. So I've just finished installing this bracket on the left hand side, exactly how I've done on the right side. All it does is relocates this ABS line a bit further away from everything. I have disconnected the brake lines and put them back together over the new bracket, and everything is installed how it was. So I have the semi-disconnect link in the vise now. We're just going to put some Loctite on the machined bolt. Now this stops the link from coming apart all the way. It does not have a tension measurement, so just go till it's snug. Just like that. Now I've done the same for the other side, and now we're ready to install them. So now we're going to install the semi-disconnect links in. Going to install the bottom first. Then the top. And then once again, tighten it up with a 6mm Allen key, and this time with the aftermarket nylock nuts, 19mm spanner. So now that all the semi-disconnect Swaybar links are done, we're going to move on to the Swaybar relocation side of things. The reason I'm doing the relocation is because it was highly recommended to do with the semi-disconnect Swaybar links and the 3-inch lift. So these are the brackets. You can see it only offsets it slightly. And this is all the mounting gear it comes with. It comes with your set screws and your nylock nuts and washers. Now we're fitting the relocation plates in. So slide in exactly where the old ones would. And I've put never sees on all the set screws. There's one. There's two. And now I'm going to tighten them up with the impact, also with a 6mm Allen key bit, hex bit. And then the rest with the actual 6mm Allen key. Once again, there was no torque measurement of what to go to, so go till it's, once again, snug. So I've just torqued up both brackets on each side, and now just applying never sees everywhere. Never sees, good shit. I don't know if it's just me, but I use it, and it gets all over me. So. Now the rubbers are sat in place, and these brackets need to be put on like that. So now I've got the bracket on the left hand side on. You may have to jiggle the sway bar back and forwards a fair bit to make it line up properly, but the nuts are on and I'm about to tighten her up. Now onto the right hand side. So I've just finished installing the Swaybar relocation kit, and everything is sitting how it should be. As I suspected at the start, the Swaybar is hitting the radiator support mount. I could most likely get away from it because when the wheels go back up, and the cab comes down, the sway bar will roll backwards, but I want it to clear, so I'm going to notch that out. So I'm just going to do a section, doesn't have to go too much, something like that. The other side cleared just fine. It's got a big enough gap, and that does not need to be notched out. So now I'm going to take this radiator support mount off. It's just 5 bolts. Round 2. there it is. I have just finished notching out this radiator support member. Now just remember, this is only to make room for the sway bar when it is at full droop, which it is now. This is just to have a bit more clearance and, well, clearance from this member to the sway bar. So this is what the Swaybar semi-disconnect link looks like when it drops. It's got clearance all the way around and everything works. So now I'm going to show you guys a video of what the semi-disconnect pin looks like when the car goes up, or well, when one wheel goes up. And that's it. Okay. So now I've got the front right wheel up with the forklift. Going to give you some measurements. I've chosen a spot in the rim, easiest, with the level and the measuring tape. I'm going to go from there to the ground, and from the bottom of the flare to the same point but on the top of the rim. Once again, this is me being honest. So you guys can decide whether it's something you would want to do or not. Measures 620 up from this point on the rim from the ground. And this is with the pins in. So from the bottom of the flare to the same point on the rim, but up the top, it is 290. This is with the pins in. Yep. So pins are out, going from the ground to the same point on the rim, and it measures 660 mil. So now the pins are out, measuring from the underside of the flare to the same point on the wheel, and it measures 260 mil. Well, that's a wrap for this video. The Swaybar semi-disconnect links and Swaybar relocation kits in total cost me around $175, including shipping, all PSR gear, and by no means am I sponsored by them, so it's all been my honest feedback. Took me around 2 hours to fit. I gained around 30 to 40 mil of travel from the Swaybar semi-disconnects. It's up to you guys whether you think it's worth it to you. I would not recommend it for the average off-roader, but any feedback is welcome on this video, whether you liked it, didn't like it, or your opinions. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to be installing a 2-inch body lift. And if you're lucky enough to have a mum, make sure you show her love every day.